What is difference between Iterator and list iterator? List iterator is the child interface of Iterator interface. The major difference between Iterator and list iterator is that Iterator can traverse the elements in the collection only in forward direction, whereas the list iterator can traverse the elements in a collection in both the forward as well as the backwards direction. How can we create a synchronized collection from given collection? In Java, normally collections aren't synchronized, which leads to fast performance. However, in multi-threaded situations, it can be very useful for collections to be synchronized. The Java Collections class has several static methods on it that provide synchronized collections. These methods are synchronized collection methods of collections class collections, synchronized collection, collection C. What is the default capacity of Arraylist, vector, hashmap, hashtable and hashset? Arraylist constructs an empty list with an initial capacity of 10. Vector constructs an empty vector so that its internal data array has size 10 and its standard capacity increment is 0. Hashmap constructs an empty hash map with the default initial capacity 16 and the default load factor 0.75. Hashtable constructs a new, empty hashtable with a default initial capacity 11 and load factor 0.75. Hashset constructs a new, empty set. The backing hash map instance has default initial capacity 16 and load factor 0.75. What is the difference between collection and collections? Collection interface. Collection is a root-level interface of the Java Collection Framework. Most of the classes in Java Collection Framework inherit from this interface. List, set and queue are main sub-interfaces of this interface. JDK provides direct implementations of its sub-interfaces. Arraylist, vector, hashset, linked hashset, priority queue are some indirect implementations of collection interface. Collections class.
What is the difference between hashset and treeset? Hashset gives better performance, faster than treeset for the operations like add, remove, contains, size, etc. Hashset offers constant time cost while treeset offers log n time cost for such operations. Hashset does not maintain any order of elements while treeset elements are sorted in ascending order by default. What is the difference between set and map? Set does not allow duplicates. Set and all of the classes which implement set interface should have unique elements. Set allows single null value at most. Set does not maintain any order, still few of its classes sort the elements in an order such as linked hashset maintains the elements in insertion order. Classes used in sets are set, hashset, linked hashset, treeset, sorted set, etc. Map stored the elements as key and value pair. Map doesn't allow duplicate keys while it allows duplicate values. Map can have single null key at most and any number of null values. Set map also doesn't store the elements in an order, however few of its classes does the same. Classes in maps hashmap, tree map, weak hashmap, linked hashmap, identity hashmap, etc. What is the difference between hashset and hashmap? Hashset class implements the set interface in hashset. We store objects, elements or values, e.g. if we have a hash set of string elements then it could depict a set of hashset elements, hello, hi, bye, run. Hashset does not allow duplicate elements, that mean you cannot store duplicate values in hashset. Hashset permits to have a single null value. Hashset is not synchronized, which means they are not suitable for thread-safe operations unless synchronized explicitly. What is the dictionary class? Util dictionary is an abstract class representing a key-value relation and works similar to a map. Both keys and values can be objects of any type but not null. An attempt to insert either a null key or a null value to a dictionary causes a null pointer exception. What are all the classes and interfaces that are available in the collections? Java Collections interfaces: collection interface, iterator interface, set interface, list interface, queue interface, dequeue interface, map interface, list iterator interface. What is copy on write Arraylist? How it is different from Arraylist in Java. Copy on write Arraylist class is introduced in JDK 1.5, which implements list interface. It is an enhanced version of Arraylist in which all modifications, add, set, remove, etc. are implemented by making a fresh copy. Why collection doesn't extend clonable and serializable interfaces. Collection is an interface that specifies a group of objects known as elements. The details of how the group of elements is maintained is left up to the concrete implementations of collection. For example, some collection implementations like list allow duplicate elements, whereas other implementations like set don't. Collection is the root interface for all the collection classes, like Arraylist, linked list. If collection interface extends clonable, serializable interfaces, then it is mandating all the concrete implementations of this interface to implement clonable and serializable interfaces. To give freedom to concrete implementation classes, collection interface don't extended clonable or serializable interfaces. Why concurrent hash map is faster than hash table in Java? Concurrent hash map uses multiple buckets to store data. This avoids read locks and greatly improves performance over a hash table. Both are thread safe, but there are obvious performance wins with concurrent hash map. When we read from a concurrent hash map using get, there are no locks, contrary to the hash table, for which all operations are simply synchronized. Hash table was released in old versions of Java, whereas concurrent hash map is added in Java 1.5 version. What is the difference between peek, poll, and remove method of the queue interface? This represents a collection that is indented to hold data before processing. It is an arrangement of the type first in first out FIFO. The first element put in the queue is the first element taken out from it. The peek method, this method A returns the object at the top of the current queue, without removing it. If the queue is empty, this method A returns null. How Hashmap works in Java. Hashmap in Java works on hashing principle. It is a data structure, which allows to store object and retrieve it in constant time O1. In hashing, hash functions are used to link key and value in Hashmap. Objects are stored by calling putKeyValue method of Hashmap and retrieved by calling getKey method. When we call put method, hashcode method of the key object is called so that hash function of the map can find a bucket location to store value object, which is actually an index of the internal array, known as the table. Hashmap internally stores mapping in the form of map entry object, which contains both key and value object. Since the internal array of Hashmap is of fixed size, and if you keep storing objects, at some point of time hash function will return same bucket location for two different keys. This is called collision in Hashmap. In this case, a linked list is formed at that bucket location and a new entry is stored as next node. If we try to retrieve an object from this linked list, we need an extra check to search correct value. This is done by equals method. Since each node contains an entry, Hashmap keeps comparing entry's key object with the pass key using equals, and when it returns true, map returns the corresponding value. How does Hashmap handle collisions in Java? Prior to Java 8, Hashmap and all other hash table-based map implementation classes in Java handle collision by chaining, i.e. they use linked lists to store map entries which ended in the same bucket due to a collision. If a key ends up in same bucket location where an entry is already stored, then this entry is just added at the head of the linked list there. In the worst case, this degrades the performance of the get method of Hashmap to O(n) from O1. In order to address this issue in the case of frequent Hashmap collisions, Java 8 has started using a balanced tree instead of linked list for storing collided entries. This also means that in the worst case you will get a performance boost from O(n) to O log n.
How set Hashset implement unique values. Java Hashset class is used to create a collection that uses a hash table for storage. It inherits the abstract set class and implements set interface. Hashset stores the elements by using a mechanism called hashing. Hashset contains unique elements only. Hashset allows null value. Hashset class is non-synchronized. Hashset doesn't maintain the insertion order. Here, elements are inserted on the basis of their hashcode. Hashset is the best approach for search operations. The initial default capacity of Hashset is 16, and the load factor is 0.75.
Difference between contains key set and values in Hashmap. The keyset method. This method A returns a set view of all the keys in the map. The set is backed by the map, so changes to the map are reflected in the set, and vice versa. The contains key method. It returns true if this map maps one or more keys to the specified value. The values methods. It returns a collection view of the values contained in this map. The collection is backed by the map, so changes to the map are reflected in the collection, and vice versa. What is the difference between array and ArrayList data structure? Resizable. Implementation of array is simple fixed-sized array, but implementation of ArrayList is dynamic-sized array. Primitives. Array can contain both primitives and objects, but ArrayList can contain only object elements. Generics. We can't use generics along with array, but ArrayList allows us to use generics to ensure type safety. Length. We can use length variable to calculate length of an array, but size method to calculate size of ArrayList. Store. Array use assignment operator to store elements, but ArrayList use add to insert elements. What is difference between Hashset and linked Hashset? A Hashset is unordered and unsorted set. Linked Hashset is the ordered version of Hashset. The only difference between Hashset and linked Hashset is that linked Hashset maintains the insertion order. When we iterate through a Hashset, the order is unpredictable, while it is predictable in case of linked Hashset. The reason why linked Hashset maintains insertion order is because the underlying data structure is a doubly linked list. What is difference between Hashset and linked Hashset? A Hashset is unordered and unsorted set. Linked Hashset is the ordered version of Hashset. The only difference between Hashset and linked Hashset is that linked Hashset maintains the insertion order. When we iterate through a Hashset, the order is unpredictable, while it is predictable in case of linked Hashset. The reason why linked Hashset maintains insertion order is because the underlying data structure is